Hi, today I want to share with you exactly what we do. Our workout. I've shared with you some high intensity interval trainings that we do. That's a big deal, and here's a link for that right up there. But this is taking you into our home, what we do on Saturday mornings. It's not a big deal, but it's a big enough deal that we do it every Saturday. We do another one on Tuesday, a high intensity interval training as opposed to high intensity training with weight resistance. So I want to show you exactly what we do and give you a little sort of understanding why this is with some data. Hey, that's new, with some data and a little research. Mostly it's about our data. So let's get started. Okay, so our Saturday morning HIIT, high intensity interval training routine at home, and why we do it. Okay, what is HIIT? New research finds that workouts, routines with short bursts of intensity followed by short bursts of rest have a positive effect on the brain's neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to adapt to new situations, right? So you're not thrown off. It's the opposite of a routine. It's being able to figure out where you are, what you're doing. So brain neuroplasticity, but also it means when a certain part of the brain, it's usually see this post-strokes, atrophies or dies, your brain has the ability to remake some of these connections. So it means that as well. So neuroplasticity is a phenomenon that refers to the brain's ability to adapt to change by altering its functional and structural properties. So it's literal of what you can see. And it's also figurative in the sense of you can tell a person's figuring things out. They're adapting to a different environment. The effect of a single bout of moderate and high intensity interval exercise on brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF as we all call it, and working memory in young females. This is actually a Pakistan study, and I think it's really cool. It just came out in May, by the way, May 2022, so just a few months ago. So young women, roughly 22, there was 22 women. The average age was 20, plus or minus 2 years, were recruited for 2 separate exercises. They did both moderate, they had blood taken before and after, and then they did high intensity interval exercise and blood taken before and after. So this is basically saying how it was set up. Blood drawn before, 15 minutes of exercise, blood drawn afterwards. Pretty cool, absolutely. So what'd they show? Why is this so cool? All right, the conclusion is a single episode of both moderate intensity exercise and high intensity interval exercise, or training as we call it in the West, were effective at increasing BDNF levels and enhancing memory in young females, with the high intensity interval training having the largest effect. In fact, having a large effect, so it dwarfed the others. I put the link to the study so you can look into it and see what the difference is. But here's the point. I'm not trying to say good versus bad. I'm saying go do something. Something's better than nothing. A lot of people sit around reading and thinking they're waiting for the special answer. Doing something is far better than doing nothing. 100 million times better. But if you're really trying to get the biggest bang for your buck and try a little focus on what you're doing, HIIT, as you'll see that we do, it gives you a bigger bang, okay? So it's an amazing benefit in 15 minutes is what they did here, which is pretty interesting because our HIIT is 16 minutes. So the link to what we follow is there. It's Funk Roberts. We've been doing this since before the pandemic. We just got hooked on it. We do him and we do Fitness Blender as well. So this is the Funk Roberts day. He and his wife. Pretty cool. And then we follow by a 6-minute ab workout. So our total actual workout time is 21 minutes. It's 16, a little bit of a rest, and then 6 minutes for the abs. Workout structure. Classic high intensity interval training. Perform each exercise 40 seconds of work followed by 20 seconds of rest continuously. There's no like, oh, we did a cycle. Can we rest now? No, it's ongoing. It's 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, all the time. No rest between the rounds. Total time is 60 minutes. Equipment's none. You can warm up if you want to, but it's not included. I mean, do whatever you want to do, but this is just about what we're doing. 60-minute sequence is side-to-side burpees, as you'll see. Plank hip dips to plank raises. This is easier. So he has hard, easier, which is what I like, by the way, having done this a bazillion times. Jumping jacks to tuck jumps, which is jumping up and pulling up your knees. And then walkout push ups. 4 straight rounds nonstop. Okay, we finished with his 6-minute ab workout, which is 40 seconds of work in a slightly different sequence, of course. We're on our backs for the most part. Slight crunches, reverse crunches, flutter kicks, Russian twists for your obliques, half windshield wipers, and ab bicycles. So 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, 40-20, 40-20. So how do we measure intensity of exercise? I'm going to show you how we measure it. I mean, we're not going to go into VO2 max because obviously you're not going to do that at home. And there's good research on that, and I really don't care. But I want to show you that it does have to do, you can put on a CGM and you can measure that, which is what we did. All right, so we put on a freestyle Libre, which is what this is. And what we're looking for is your bump up in your glucose. We want to see that bump up in your glucose. So this is HIIT over here, we're doing it, but it measures, intensity is measured by that bump up. What's the big deal? If you are going so hard, if you're sprinting or if you're using HIIT or whatever the thing is, the intensity has to be hit some point that you kick in your adrenal glands. And it's when your adrenal glands kick in, the cortisol gets released, it goes to the liver, and it makes for glucose. It hits the glycogen stores of your liver, and away you go, you get all the sugar. But this shows you've pushed yourself to that point of doing that. So if you're just going to do cardiovascular and on the elliptical or whatever, you're not going to get those effects. So this shows at this particular time, it's now a couple years ago, that it's a bit dated, but I clearly hit that point and it rose considerably. So it shows that I engaged my adrenal glands. So the benefit in comparison to HIIT, right? So we're comparing high intensity training to high intensity interval training. So here we did. Here's 45 minutes of cardio. This is just on, what was I? I was on the elliptical. For about 45 minutes, kept my beats per minutes 130 to 140, which is pretty sustained. And you can see there was no change. All these little dots are when I took my glucose, and they're all pretty normal. Nothing really happened. But I burned calories, but I didn't kick in adrenal glands. Now down here, high intensity interval training, I did it with a kettlebell. It's not what we're doing today. A kettlebell routine, and you can see it is exhausting. And is it even? I think it's about 20 minutes for that particular routine. But you can see that bump up. Total session about 30 minutes. It says here, and there's the numbers. Boom. When you're working out, obviously you're not going to take your numbers. Okay, so we do this at the gym Mondays and Fridays, which is the HIIT, right? The slow, high intensity training, weight resistance training. And so we get this estimate glucose levels, probably 150, if not higher, when I really push myself. So that's the point. You got that now. I can tell by anybody, it doesn't have to be me, by anybody, when they kicked in, engaged their adrenal glands. They were pushing themselves so hard. It's not speed, it's intensity. Not speed, it's intensity to have that happen. What's the benefit of short bouts of metabolic intensity? What's the benefit? Create short bursts of growth hormone, IGF. That's what I just showed you. So that bump up showed that I engaged the kidneys, that I engaged the adrenal glands, and that kicked up my growth hormone, which now I have, after that exercise, 48 hours of elevated growth hormone, and then it will come down. So it's self-induced. And I've done a video on that, and I put the link in before, okay? So bursts of intensity help you build your muscles and your mind. Oh yeah? Yeah. Why do we do HIIT 2 times a week? Why do we do HIIT 2 times a week? Well, look at it. Muscle loss, sarcopenia, as you get older, over 25, and mental deterioration, as in cognitive impairment or mild cognitive impairment over age 25, have something in common. It's atrophy. This is a 74-year-old sedentary man, and you can see it's mostly fat and a little bit of muscle. Here's a 70-year-old triathlete. It's all muscle. And same with the 40-year. So we have the 40-year to the 70-year in terms of muscle mass. This is a cross-section of the femur of your leg. Pretty much not much difference at all. Look at the brain. Same thing. Notice that the cross-section of healthy muscle mass is a solid, full, as is a brain. Healthy, solid, full. Alzheimer's. Am I saying you're going to get Alzheimer's if you don't exercise? No, I'm not going to say that. I'm saying that you have to drive a demand. You need something to spark some IGF moments, insulin-like growth factor moments in your life, okay? So if you don't push it, you will have low growth hormone, what they call IGF. They're kind of correlate, one's a proxy for the other, which you will have to address. So you need to apply a demand. There's a number of videos I've done on choline as a precursor. That's really helpful and that's necessary. But if you're just going to sit around and not engage in any sort of exercise, you are missing a big component. So this is about exercise. This is about the choline of behavior, if you will. This is what I call behavioral nutrition, something you have to do for yourself that has nothing to do with supplements, has nothing to do with food. It has to do with you and effort for 15, 16 minutes, a couple times a week. And that also goes with HIIT. It's really only a 15-minute to 20-minute session twice a week. So it's not a lot. Okay, benefits in comparison to HIIT. Here's the cardio. I showed you that, right? There's flat. We do this on Tuesdays and Saturday, Tuesday mornings. High intensity interval training. We don't do the kettlebell. We do at home. We used to do kettlebells. Periodically we do it, but our routine is at home on the floor. And that's Mondays and Fridays. Okay. It takes an effort, but it's life-changing. I'll see you on the other side.
Guys ready? All right, we're doing side-to-side burpees. No, we're not going to the ground. No push-up with the burpees, okay? Just backing up. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Side jump burpees. Deep breathing. Core tight. Good. Trying to land both feet at the same time. You don't want to go too crazy. It's only round one. Good. Keep your nose out to your mouth. Down to the ground. Plank, hip dips. We're doing 4 total, and then 2 plank raises. Here we go. Deep breath in your nose. Get that oxygen back. And here we go. So 4 total, and then 2 raises. So here with the plank, dynamic plank. Good. Exercise, very metabolic, high intensity. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 jumps. Drive those knees up. It's only round 1, so 3, 4. Down, back up, down, back up. Make sure with the push-up, you take your time. We want strength. Down. Good. Back up. You're doing great. Back up. Use that upper body to push you back. Down. Good work, honey. Keep going. We're just bringing our shoulders off the ground. Now we're working the upper abs here. So in order for you really to feel those upper abs doing the work, you really need to ensure that the small of your back, right below here, is right touching the ground the entire time. Okay, so a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Control your legs on the way down. Don't let them fall. Good. You really feel it when you keep that lower part of your abs to the ground. Lower part of your back on the ground. Exhale on the way up, inhale the way down. Trying to bring the belly button right toward your chest. Once again, with flutter kicks, you want to make sure the smaller your back, so you got to do a little bit of a tilt, is on the ground. Feeling this in the entire ab region, actually. Keep those toes pointed. Twist, side to side. This is a good rotational movement. Also hits the obliques. I'm doing it with my feet off the ground, but as I get tired, I still want to keep moving so I can put my feet on the ground. You find we're doing knees to opposite elbow. You find that your hips hurt. That means your hip flexors are doing most of the work, which is not what we want. Let's go rotate. So now we're still rotating. So you want to go to the side, back up. You want to go a little bit slower here. Back up. You want your knees at a 90-degree angle, but do not let the legs touch the ground. So force your core to get tight. Grab this here. So there you have it, a 6-minute ab workout. Wow, you definitely feel it in the abs.
I just wanted to make sure you ended up with this particular point, and that is the worth of doing something is extremely beneficial. Everybody agrees on that. But however, to chisel it down, you know intensity matters. Intensity matters. So intensity, you can have a more intense workout for an osteoporotic old man or an osteoporotic old woman because it's relative to them. It's their intensity relative to their ability. So it's not you versus me. We're not comparing you versus me. Yeah, it's not you versus me. So it's the intensity that you bring to it. It's really important. The science is there. As we get older, we have brain decline. We inevitably have brain decline, and there's something you can do to reverse that, make sure that doesn't happen. And we have muscle decline, muscle mass decline, and there's something that you can do to make sure that doesn't happen to you. That's the point of this. So I hope you etch this in your mind, and you see that it's the intensity, and you can go for years on an elliptical and not get the benefit. That's the point here. So it takes effort, but it certainly can be life-changing. So I hope you'll change your life. So if this is something that you're interested in, that is a topic that I obviously go deeper in terms of labs, in terms of how to do it, in terms of why you would want to do it, various topics, as you've seen that I've done in the past, then please let me know below in a comment. Till then.